Welcome back to Elevator Paso, guys. We're gonna be having a super interesting episode today. We're gonna be talking about different aspects of what it takes to be an influencer, different aspects of what it takes to be able to get your word out there, not just on influencing on the social dynamic, but also influencing on a business dynamic. And for this today, we're gonna be visiting with our old friend David Rodriguez. David, how are you?
How are you? Good to see you again.
And with our friend Krystal Tini. Krystal, how are you?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, guys. First of all, you guys are both blowing up on social media. This is something that is really part of your everyday now. What do you guys have to say in regards to how it's changed for you in regards to what it used to be and what it was?
Well, I'll start off. Well, first of all, I made that viral video that happened about 2 months ago. So all this that's happening to me right now is an accident, complete accident. I didn't expect this. I never tried to do it. It wasn't something I was gearing for. It just happened. It just all of a sudden I'm on social media. I'm growing about 120 people a day right now, and I never expected that. Her video came out at the same time as mine, and that's how we connected. We started wanting to do cross promotions.
Right.
And she was different. She lived in LA. I guess she could tell you from there, but she was in LA, and her video hit the same time mine did. And honestly, I don't know any other way. I don't know any other equations or how you want to work it to build your social media, because I was just clueless about it.
Yeah.
She's been helping me along the way, but what happened with me, I'm gonna just be upfront and honest. It was an accident.
Yeah.
What's happening to me is an accident.
And I suppose that is part of what we need to take away from this, that there is an essence of sincerity that needs to go on here. Because when you're out there creating content, if this content is perceived to be too fake, it doesn't really take off. You know, so the fact that it was something that you were clueless about shows us that it was something that, it was natural for you. Now, Krystal, where are you taking him with this? What were you trying to do with him?
Well, when I first went viral, same thing that he said, like it was an accident. It's like you want this formula, you want to know like how do I get famous on Instagram? And for a long time, I was trying to do that and posting about yoga and modeling and all this stuff, and it just wasn't happening. And then I posted about, the current happenings of what was going on, and all of a sudden it just went like around the world 50 times. And it was like, again, being sincere and talking about things that are really relatable to people instead of posting like sexy pictures or whatever. It's like, okay, everybody can post a sexy picture, but when you talk about something that's super relatable, that's when things really change and people can actually relate to you and say like, oh, okay, like I get this. And it's not just a guy looking at a hot girl's picture. It's people all over the place that are like, wow, we're all going through the same thing, and I can relate.
That's what I want to say is that quarantine, it hit for both of us during quarantine. Because everyone's at home, not doing anything,
Right.
and the issues that we both spoke about hit home, and it resonated with people.
Yeah.
So that's how we both hit it on it, and it's like, and now we're cross promoting. So we knew enough. She called me, and we decided to cross promote to build both our social media, popularity, I guess.
And so another point here that I like them noticing is the fact that you are approaching this from something that isn't, a generic, you talk about having sexy pictures. Now your audience is looking at you because you have sexy pictures. But as opposed to taking on a subject where your audience is interacting with you.
Yeah.
So now you have a different type of audience, an audience that actually cares about what you have to say. And at this point, I mean, I guess whether they hate it or they love it, they're there and they're paying attention.
They both. It's both hate and love.
Oh, I'm sure. That's everyone. Yeah.
Crazy.
So I guess what I'm trying to get to that I get a lot of teens out there or people trying to make it really think that it's about the looks, and that's important, but it's really more about connection.
100%.
Totally.
You know what blew me away was that I've always been known, Paso and in the boxing community as a boxer.
Right.
I hit it big with the political rants, the spirituality, the awakening, and all that thing that's happening right now. And that's how I made it on Instagram and all that, and Facebook, on social media. But the minute I started, this is crazy because this blew me away. That's where my connection is now.
Right.
When I started posting on boxing again, my views went way down. I was like, wait a second, this is crazy. I was like,
boxer.
yeah, that's what I first initially was, and then nobody wants to know about that anymore. They want to hear what I have to say on certain things.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy to me is that my old identity is gone. Like the identity I used to have with boxing is completely
Same.
shed.
Yeah.
It's shed away, and I guess you can attest to that.
And
Yeah.
so you went from yoga and
Do
more.
modeling, everything in the entertainment business, and people think that's cool and everything, but once you're engaging them with something that is like super, that they just relatability, I guess. It all changes because I posted like a picture, one of my modeling pictures, and it was like nobody cares.
Yeah.
They're like, we want you to talk about, you know, politics or whatever
Right.
topic that I talk about. They don't care.
Okay, so now let's touch on something here. I've ran into this problem on my personal level and those around me, to where it gets to the point when you're giving advice, and a lot of times you're pointing at an ideal, and within you there's a bit of a guilt trip. I feel kind of hypocritical. I'm not perfect. How can I give advice to others? How have you guys dealt with this? How have you let others know, you know, we're all on the same journey type of thing?
Just no, you don't.
Okay, well, my disclaimer to everybody is, I was a raging alcoholic. I had drug abuse. I was juggling one extreme with the boxing, and I'm not a perfect person. I'm no one to give advice. This is just how I feel,
Yeah.
and I come through with it with blunt force trauma, and it resonates with people
Yeah.
because I'm speaking on passion.
Yeah.
But I come very clear when I say, like, listen, I was an extreme personality when I was boxing. I'm sober now 180 days,
Mhm.
and I feel great. But to be honest, I tell people I'm battling with it every day.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how David Rodriguez used to be. Everyone knows, hey, the guy at the bar, the guy, the fighter. You know, he says some crazy stuff. You know, but now, but now it's like, you know, now I've turned a new leaf. I'm going in a different direction, and I do tell people in my own spiritual walk
Yeah.
that I am not perfect, and I do battle with demons daily.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess
Yeah, for me, so I go with David as well, goes the spirituality side, and I do as well with yoga and everything. And there are some people like, you don't practice what you preach. Sometimes my videos, I come off real crazy, and I know that, but I'm a fiery Italian. That's how I grew up, and my side with the spiritual journey is that I am aspiring to be a more spiritual person. I created a company around that called My Soul Mat with affirmation, because I've been a crazy person my whole life, and if I have a positive affirmation on my yoga mat, that's a reminder for me.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know, pretend to be this tree hugger that's like just.
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
Right.
you know
So-
that's his big point: authenticity.
Yeah, exactly.
People
So-
can smell that out a mile away, man.
And I think that's important, and I kind of knew that you would both say that, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because people need to be aware that nobody's expecting perfection. You know, they're gonna connect with you more when you're genuine.
Sometimes they do though. These are
Well,
some
no,
of our followers.
I think
they're-
people like to talk
Yeah, yeah.
as
yeah.
much trash as they can, but I don't think it's expected. You know, I think they may be looking out for something that they could point out,
Yeah.
just because some people love that.
A lot of people.
So what have you faced? I mean, I know it's been a bit
Oh my
heated.
god. Our inboxes are like an endless pit
Yeah.
of craziness.
Yeah, we compared messages, and I'm like, look at this. I mean, I'm talking, dude,
Yeah.
and this, even in the pinnacle of my boxing career,
Yeah.
I didn't get what I'm getting now.
Right.
Like, I look through my inbox, and I'm like, wow. I mean, people like, because I released that video on pedophilia and the takedowns, and it resonated with a lot of people. And now I'm getting people that are like asking me for therapy, and I'm like, dude, I'm no one to give that. You know what I mean? Like, got the wrong guy. And they're like asking me like, well, you know, my family, you know, I was abused sexually as a child, and I mean, they write pages, I mean, paragraphs and paragraphs,
It's
and
overwhelming.
I don't have time to answer these people. Literally, we both got probably 5,000 plus messages in
Yeah.
both our inbox, right?
Yeah.
Easily, and it's just crazy, dude. This just happened.
Yeah.
This just happened.
So what's next? What are you gonna do? You have the light right now. How are you gonna make this something that's positive? I know that you're both trying to get your word out there. You're both trying to influence the social dynamic of how things are kind of going. Where are you guys wanting? What do you want to do?
We have a lot of different offers that come our way all the time. Like his are different than mine and stuff like. But we're always finding ideas and ways of like kind of working together. Because him and I have a very similar platform, and a lot of our followers are like, I follow David and I love what he says and I love what you say. And so we are like we are a good team, and we have like formed a good team together. So there are possibilities of like hosting shows and stuff. We have different things like coming our way. Nothing like, you know, set in stone or anything, but there's a lot of that stuff. And I always wanted to be in TV and film to do that kind of stuff with hosting and everything. So you know.
So on the last episode where David was, he gave us a promise that we were gonna start doing TV together. Krystal.
Yeah.
Now that I have you here.
No, I if I'm here, like I would be more than happy to, you know, and
She's totally cool with that.
I go wherever the wind blows me, and I love opportunities and meeting new people and doing stuff with TV and film because I have the voice to do it, and I know I have the knowledge to do it, so it's something that I've always been passionate about. So,
And so once we go kind of full circle back to TV traditional, what are we doing with our social, our digital? What's gonna happen with that? Is that still something you're trying to push and grow?
yeah,
Is that gonna be your main platform?
probably. Like I use Instagram mainly, and he's really big on Facebook too. And Facebook, I just kind of moved away from because I have a lot of people on my page that I do work with and have a lot of different beliefs than I do, and you get attacked for them. So you don't want to lose clients. You don't want to, you know, burn bridges with people, and it makes it very difficult because obviously political things are just very, very touchy these days, and it does burn bridges with people, and you lose friends and family over that. So I just kind of moved over toward Instagram, and he has the luck of being able to use both platforms.
So are you guys doing anything to monetize?
She's teaching me all that. So here's what really surprised me. I was like, Krystal, man, I mean, she was growing like 1,000 people a day,
Wow.
and I was growing maybe 300 people a day. Now I'm about 120 people, or 100 to 120 a day. But it's what's really crazy is that this was an alien to me, foreign. I didn't know what to do with it, and so I started talking to her. I'm like, Krystal, what do I do? Like honestly, I don't know what to do with this. I mean, aren't they supposed to be calling me to like sponsors and this and that? She goes, no, you need to get a social media manager, and you need to know how to do this. You need to know how to monetize. Everything's a dollar sign, and you need to know how to start an Etsy store, and you need to know how to, and I'm just like blown away because she knows how to navigate the internet so well. And I'm a person that, I'm gonna be honest, I'm clueless with this.
Yeah.
And so I'm building this following, but I don't know what to do with it. So she can answer this question, how to monetize. Go ahead, on the floor.
Well, like he said, he started an Etsy store, and I did as well with T-shirts, and he's like getting so creative with his T-shirts and stuff like that. So that's just like one small thing. But there's so many different companies that will reach out to you and say, "Can you post this for me?" And you know, I'll send you products and trade. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of people that want to send you their product. There's a lot of people that just. There you go.
Here's one. They sent me this product, and I've been talking about. I have about a month's supply of it. And I've been talking about heart water, by the way.
It's rainwater. So you get all these different offers and things like that, but then it comes to a point where you have to shift over into saying, okay, well, I'm going to post this. Like, this is what I need to be paid for, blah, blah, blah. And there's so many different charts with the rates. Like, if you have this many followers, you charge this amount of money, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So there is a lot of money to be made in this because all these big companies have the money to spend on their marketing, and especially if they are looking at your engagement. Like I talk to him about this a lot. He can have 34,000 followers, and someone else can have 34,000 followers, and they have 6 comments on their picture, and he has 400 comments. People want to know that people are engaging and that they are looking forward to your content because they know that whatever he says, people are going to want to buy.
Yes, and I learned from her. Actually, I never really knew, but I learned because I never paid attention to social media that much. I was just like, I guess it's something that's for kids. Yeah. No, it's not. So now I'm addicted to it. But I learned, man, like how easy it is. Like, if you want to embarrass yourself, go buy followers, because people look. If they're gonna look at your social media, they're gonna look at your interaction, your likes, if they're bots or not, and the interaction of comments, right? So, and not just emojis, because that's bots. So you got to have real people on your. It's got to be real. Yeah. I mean, how many people do you know? And I've seen this in El Paso a lot. People that have 50,000 followers. I'm like, it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. So it just doesn't add up, you know. And you're not going to get that many followers these days, I don't think. And correct me if I'm wrong, by just posting pictures in your bikini. Yeah. It doesn't happen that way.
Well, and again, we go back to, you may get followers, but that's not gonna. You're not gonna get interaction. You're not gonna get quality. You're getting people that are gonna take half a second to scroll through your picture. Yeah. What you want is somebody that connects, and that's when it's only able to. And
since I started growing with my followers, I had people reach out to me, saying that, hey, I want to help you with your following. Like, I guess people that work for social media companies that are like, hey, we'll give you, you pay this much, and we'll give you a shout out. And I'm like, for what? Yeah. Like, what is that going to do for me? I'm going to gain up like 300, 400 followers for $500, and then I lose them later because they're just following because some famous person did a shout out, I'd say it's stupid. I have 35,000 right now, but I want to grow organically. I don't care about having 100,000 followers if they're not even paying attention to what I'm posting.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want real interaction.
Right. So once we are able to get to that point, this is when it turns from being a side hustle to actually being a full-time living, and you're able to start introducing product and start introducing. You've built up a rapport. You've given value to them, and without asking anything from them. And after you have that rapport, people have something that they're getting from you. You're able to approach them with a product. Now we have yoga mats that have positive phrases. Tell me about this.
I came up with that with my sister about 3 years ago, and I've always been a yogi, and whenever I would take class, it would just be like, oh my god, I need to have something to focus on, and so if I had positive affirmations, that would, help me with my whole day and change my way of thinking, and so that's where we came up with that idea, and it took off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this something you're doing on the Etsy store?
It's not on an Etsy store. I have a whole, separate social media for it. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's
She's
its
got
own
like
kind of
20,000 on
entity.
that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's been a really big thing because a lot of people that are in yoga are looking to aspire to be a certain level of spirituality, and it's not all people that are just like they're in it because they are spiritual. They are looking for something and looking for a way to calm your mind, and that's why I got into yoga, because I was a dancer my whole life. I danced professionally for a really long time, and I transitioned into yoga, and I found something else that made me feel something. And looking down at a plain mat, it's just like, okay, it's my mat, but this is like a sacred space that you have. It's I am courageous, I am love, I am manifesting my dreams. So it's a constant positive thought that you have in your mind while you're in a very deep practice. I mean, you can say that you've done yoga, you go to a really deep place or a deep state of meditation. So once you have that positive affirmation, it truly makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any last words about social media that you guys want to tell people?
I think people can, like I said, authenticity. I think that the reason mine's growing right now is because I'm just who I am. I'm off the cuff, and I don't try. You know what I mean? Like I go off the cuff. I speak to the camera. I mess up. I'm messy, dirty. Like people are like, all right, but they see the authenticity.
Yeah.
Like I don't try. That's just me. That's all I can say for me. And I speak my mind, and it resonates with some, it doesn't with others, but it still causes interaction.
Yeah.
So whether they agree with me or disagree with me, it's still bringing people to my page.
Yeah.
And I think you probably agree, right?
Yeah. Don't try to please everyone.
Ooh, that's a big one.
There's
Yeah.
so many people that are like, oh, this person said this about me. I don't give two, what. I don't care. I say what I believe is my truth, and if people resonate with that, that's great. If people don't, I have dialogue with them. And sometimes I'm nice and sometimes I'm not. So,
sometimes she's not.
but Krystal's fiery. You guys really gotta go check out both of their pages. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Krystal, thank you.